Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again, a little bit early. You know how it's been past few Saturdays. My son has soccer games, so I've been doing them early on Saturday. Next week, I might try or I might be able to do my live at the regular time because his game is at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not happy about that. But his game will be over, and then I'll have pretty much the rest of the day. So I don't know. I'll figure it out how we're gonna do it. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. What up? I see somebody in there. What's her name? Nora? Not Nora Jones, guys. Don't you start being all play already. Let me see. I think that was her name. We'll find out. Hold on one second. Let me find her. Nora Kramer. Shout out to you, Nora. She says, I found Jericho after he did a posting on the hashtag walk away. I think he only had 6,000 subs. Wow. So you've been here for a while, Nora. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thanks for sticking with me. Thank you very much. See, I said Chazo Ghost. I said don't be play. He's already putting Nora Jones quotes in there. That's exactly what I did want. Miss S66, what's up? Everybody in there. So this is one of my favorite titles and one of my favorite thumbnails. The thumbnail is Biden getting ready to kiss a little Asian boy. Not sure why. They say context matters, but I don't know if there's any context that can explain him kissing a little boy on the mouth. I've talked about that here before. I think that's just weird. I know some people do it. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but I think it's weird to kiss kids on the mouth, even if you made them. That's just me. I've never done that. It's weird. But he's about to do that, and I'm pretty sure that he didn't make any Asian babies, so that's not his, and he's going to kiss him on the mouth. The picture caught him mid-kiss. If you don't believe me, look at the picture. It wasn't doctored. It doesn't need to be. You don't need to Photoshop shit. You don't need to add anything. You don't need no frills, no thrills. Just Biden as he is already gross, disgusting, weird, awkward, infuriating enough. You don't need to add anything. It was like that one time my parents took me to a nice restaurant called Fandango in Pacific Grove, California. And I ordered a steak. The steak comes out. It had French fries next to it on the plate. What do you put on French fries, people? No, we're not in Europe. Ketchup. So I asked for some ketchup, and the waiter looked at me like I asked him a personal question about his mother's undergarments. So apparently, the chef didn't want you adding anything to his delicious steak. So think of Biden as a delicious steak. Ugh, never mind. Should have thought about that more before I said it. But my point is, you don't need to add anything to him. As is, he's already weird enough. Man, that poor kid. And the title, she was 12, I was 30. Again, once again, I didn't have to doctor that quote. Oh, this would be funny. I didn't have to. He said that in front of a bunch of people the other day, a couple days ago. There's some woman in the front row, and he says, we've been working together for a long time. I remember she was 12, I was 30. Ugh, we'll get into that. Explain that one, brah. And it's Elton John's fault. What could I be talking about? Well, yesterday, Elton John had his first performance at the White House since 1998, since I graduated high school. He's back. And it's part of his farewell tour. And he was surprised with some kind of achievement medal, like lifetime achievement kind of shit. Some kind of medal. And he was surprised by it, wasn't expecting it. He gets a little teary-eyed, which is great. Elton John's an amazing musician. But then here's where everything gets all Biden-y. Here's where Sloppy Joe rears his wrinkled, lesion-covered head. Here we go. He said to Elton John on a hot microphone in front of 2,000 watching. So potentially millions of people he said this in front of. He said he had the mic and he's holding a cue card. Uh-oh. You guys letting Joe Biden kind of go off the cuff? You can't do that. You've seen him with multiple teleprompters and probably having somebody in his ear, and you guys are just going to send him out there with cue cards? Uh-oh. Remember last time we saw his cue cards? I've never seen such detail. You can't even call them cue cards. They were detailed instructions. You walk in, sit down. Somebody will talk. They're not here. They're on Zoom. They will get up. You stand up. They leave. You sit down. I mean, play by play. So he says to Elton John as he puts his arm around him, he says, and it's this guy's fault that we spent $6 billion this month of taxpayers' money at AIDS and HIV research. I'll let you hear it. Classic Sloppy Joe. Fuck the lines up. And then blames $6 billion we spent on HIV and AIDS research on Elton John. Now, you know Elton John is part of the Alphabet Soup group. So that was a weird thing to say. And it's going to be even more weird when you hear it for yourself if you haven't already. And my question is, why are we spending $6 billion? He said this month. So is this every month? Why are we spending at least $6 billion on HIV and AIDS research? What? Why? Has anybody seen Magic Johnson? They got AIDS medicine commercials like it's Metamucil, like it's Excedrin. Remember, I got a headache this big and it's screaming for Excedrin. This is like some over-the-counter shit. Why are we spending $6 billion on HIV and AIDS research? We got it. Nobody dies from that shit inside the borders of America. Why so much money? Is somebody skimming off the top? Nah, they wouldn't do that. This is the American federal government. They wouldn't do that. Don't you dare. Don't you say that. They wouldn't do that to us. And then Wyclef Jean-Pierre, you know, that tiny little turd who was the White House press secretary, who we thought there's no way that anybody can do a worse job than Peppermint Patty Saki. We were wrong, okay? I'm going to say it for us. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to fall on this sword for all of us, okay? We were wrong for assuming that nobody can do a worse job than Peppermint Patty Saki. We were wrong. And we are proven wrong every single day when that little midget gets up there and starts drowning verbally in front of us every day. Well, she says, and don't worry, guys, I got audio for that too. She said that because of Biden's build back bullshit and the climate change and all this kind of shit, all the money he's put toward that, it's going to have an effect on hurricane season. So his policies are affecting hurricane season. Guys, I cannot wait to hear her talk about this. Who said that? Shinobi? He says she's dumb as a stump. I agree with you. I agree with you. She's dumber than a stump. But a stump is more useful because at least you can sit down on a stump. A stump can give you rest. It can give you a reprieve. She can give you nothing but a headache and questions. So his policies are going to make it an easier hurricane season for her, and I quote, our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico. Okay, USA. Like the guy said it in a Bloodsport when Frank Dukes was trying to get in there. He said, okay, USA. All right. So he's more powerful than we think. He's going to weaken the hurricanes. Okie dokie. We'll talk about that. I can't wait to play you the audio from that either. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for you guys to share in my anger and disbelief, my dismay. She would say that in public with a straight face. I wonder if they had to like cut the podium in half for her little ass so she didn't look like a kid from one of those Frosted Mini Wheat commercials. You know, when they had their parents' clothes on. They're all tiny. Wait till you hear what Biden told Elton John to his face. It's your fault we got AIDS. Oh my goodness, man. I can't wait. The Bee's Knees Mommy Grammy. Thank you for the Hamilton. I appreciate that, young lady. As the kids say, good looking out. Thank you, Betty Mush. We have more, though. My man, Roy Lee Painter. What's up, Jericho? Happy Friday, Semper Fidelis. I think you mean Saturday, Roy. You hitting the sauce last night, Roy? Saturday, man. But I see what you're saying. Thank you very much. Happy Saturday to you as well. To you and yours, Roy. Roy G. Biv. Here we go. Here's another one from, you guessed it, Roy Lee Painter. Thank you again. It said, am I be tripping or did you start early? Steve's not ready yet, damn it. Everyone please smash the like button. Pretty please, Semper Fidelis. You know, Roy's right. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. And yes, I am doing them early because my son has a soccer game. So I got to be there cheering him on the sidelines. And so last week, I'm at the game, and my son wasn't paying attention. The ball's going by. He's turning around doing something. Hey, pay attention. Most of it, hey, all right, guys, let's go. They were blue team, so let's go, blue. They're silver today. And I'll be hey, come over here. All right, and we have a break. Come this side. All right, Hey, but let's go. Hey, come on, let's go. Run, get the ball. And my wife's like, she's like, don't tell him what to do. Let the coaches coach. I was like, well, damn it, if the coach don't see it, I'm going to say something. So I'm trying not to be one of those crazy parents. I don't go out on the field. I don't talk shit to the refs. It's not that serious. They're only 6. But, you know, if he needs some motivation, I'm going to give it to him. If I see something he's not doing right, I'm going to tell him. I can't help it. I tried. I can't help it. If I see it, I'm going to say it. It's my boy. That's my boy. That's what I meant to say. Heidi Boo, thank you. She says, Justin Weeks said he should be a chia pet. Chia, 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 chia. I remember those. Grand Mall. Okay, well, I hope you don't have one, but thank you very much for that Twompski. Good looking out. Thank you very much. Roy Lee Painter, again, thank you. He says, haha, forgot it's Saturday. My wife is on vacation. Hey, you know what they say, Roy? When the cat's away, the mice will be in my comment section. Thank you. Becca, also with the Twompski. Thank you very much. Thank you. Kai Johnson from the UK. He says, real football, the greatest sport of all time. You know what, Kai? You're a good guy. I like you, man. We have nothing but positive interactions here, and you're extremely generous, and I thank you. But soccer, as we call it here, I think that's what you're referring to when you said real football. We call it soccer here, and soccer is boring to watch. It's boring as shit. But it's different when my son's playing. It's exciting. But as a whole, Americans view soccer as being very boring. We much prefer real football, like American football. I said the greatest sport ever. Yeah, football is pretty good when they don't fuck it up with all their woke shit. Bada, thank you. She was 12. I was 30. She is too old for him. Well, he didn't say he was happy about it. He does prefer them under 12. I see what you're saying. Like 9, 10, his favorite. Kai Johnson says, your football should be called hand egg. No. Your sport should be called run back and forth all day. Because that's what it is. You guys run back and forth. That's it. Soccer is a glorified track meet. You just go back and forth, back and forth. You guys should call it human ping pong. Back and forth, back and forth. 9 hours later, final score 1-0. No, thank you. No, thank you. I got better things to do with my 9 hours. 9 hours on a Saturday than watch it end 1-0. Brian King B. Falcon, man, he says, speaking of football, my son won his game 32-0, third straight shutout game. Damn. Nice. What position does your son play? Brian King B. Falcon. Tina Fabulous, I know. I'm trying. Tim Vincent, that's an outlandish accusation. How do you know that Biden is the pedo in chief? You act like there's a bunch of video out there of him smelling. Oh, you're right. He is. I forgot about that. I forgot about the thumbnail that I use. You're right, Tim. Tis. All right, guys, let's do this. Kai Johnson says, I'd watch American football over women's football. That ish sucks. Yeah, it does, man. It's boring as shit. One more super, and I promise we will get to this good gun. Valerie Rogers, thank you, miss. She says, love you, bro. But as a 5'2" lady, shh. Oh, what's wrong, Valerie? I'm just kidding. Offensive lineman, Brian King B. Falcon. All right. Making holes. Obviously, big holes for that running back to get through if they're smashing people and shutting them out. That's what's up, man. Congratulations to him. Oh, sorry, guys. One just came up. Love and Pain, thank you for the Hamilton. She says, back when my daughter was younger, we put her in soccer and rather actually play the game, she would pick flowers. I was mad when at the end of the season they gave all the kids participation trophies. Yeah, man, that's not cool. I hope they don't do that shit. They didn't do it when my son played t-ball, which I was happy about. I mean, yes, they're kids, and you don't want to hit them with too much, heavy shit, but, everybody doesn't win. That's what makes winning special, because everybody can't have it. If you don't get a trophy this year, next year, try harder. I did that in sports. I wasn't good enough to get a trophy one year. I tried like hell the next year, and I got one. And it was that much sweeter because I remember how it felt to watch other kids go up there and get applause and get a trophy and shit. I remember what that felt like. And for them to call my name the next year, shit. You can't match that feeling. You're right, Roy Lee Painter, and I'm not mad at it. Thank you very much. Corduroy G. Man, that reminds me. I had my favorite pair of pants when I was in first grade, 1986, with my pro wings, was this turquoise pair of corduroy pants. I don't know why. They just tickled my fancy as a young man. And I used to wear them all the time. My mom would have to go in my room while I was asleep and steal them to wash them. I love those pants. But one day we had show and tell. Remember show and tell? Now, if you show and tell as an adult, you're probably going to get arrested because it's not the same thing. But we would bring something cool. So I grew up on a ranch, and sure, a farm, whatever you want to call it. And Stinky Pinky, turquoise pants. What can I say? I liked them. I was 6. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring a goose egg to school because goose eggs are giant and not everybody who has access to a goose egg. So I made the mistake. I knew we were going to do it on Monday. So on Friday, I stole an egg from one of our geese and I left it in my room for the weekend. Well, guys, what do you think would happen to an egg if you left it on a dresser for a couple of days? It's probably going to get rotten. So I took the egg to school, and my 6-year-old mind, I thought it was a good idea to put the goose egg in my pocket, the pocket of my favorite turquoise corduroy pants. And I was out playing at recess, and I leaned against something, and the egg broke in my pocket. I don't know how long it's been since you guys smelled a rotten egg, but it was like this deep green, almost black sludge inside of the shell, and it ran all down my pant leg and got into my socks. So my mom had to come and bring me a change of clothes, and shout out to my mom. She washed those pants I don't know how many times, at least 5 times. She tried to get the stench out of my favorite pants, but it just didn't happen. So I had to take them out to the trash can and throw them. I had to toss. Try to. Said I wouldn't cry. I had to throw my favorite pants away. I'll never forget that. Corduroy G, thank you very much. He says, "What's up, Jericho? Did you hear about PayPal and Venmo permanently banning the gays against groomers, yet they keep MAP support groups?" I heard something about that. I heard Katie Hopkins talking about people being kicked off of PayPal and Venmo, and I don't get it, because you hear them kicking people off of Twitter and things of that nature, but then you have terrorist organizations that have Twitter pages. You have all these weird perverts who have all these pages and who get money, but they don't say anything to them. But if you speak against any of their golden calves, or you talk about some illness that swept through the country a couple of years ago, then it's all about deplatforming and canceling people and cutting off their means to make a living. And that's fucked up, which is also why we need to vote people out who aren't stopping that kind of stuff. We need to get people in there who are gonna crack down on companies like that, cutting people off for no reason. You should be allowed to say whatever you want, because the free market will dictate whether or not they want it. If people like what you say, they will come to your platform. If they don't, they won't, and you'll go away and not get any money. But allow people to make that decision, not some fucking company. Kana, thank you. Brewing some Kona coffee and listening to JG in the AM. Can't get much better. Kona coffee. That's where my wife and I got married, in Kona, Hawaii. Went back there last year with the kids. It was awesome. It was great. So I don't know. I think I got one more. There we go. I know I said I would go do the good gun, but damn, they're coming in. Spunbang65, thank you for the Hamilton. He says, saw a Biden nominee on Live on Patrol in Beach Grove last night. That's not good. That's not where you want to see the well, I guess you would call them acquaintances of the resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's no good. When they say birds of a feather, never mind, forget it. It's not important, but I'll tell you what is good gun. And this time, it's right here in California, because nothing bad happens here. It says attempted robbery. Let's see, this happened day before yesterday. Attempted robbery of Brink's armored truck in Oakland. Shooting leaves 1 dead. 1 person is dead and 2 are injured after a shooting on International Boulevard. Police confirmed that it was an attempted robbery of a Brink's truck Friday afternoon, so yesterday. Oh, so today's the 24th, not the 25th. Okay. This is a terrible situation to happen today and unfolded in broad daylight, said Oakland Police Chief LaRon Armstrong. Just before 2 p.m., police received a call about a shooting at this location. Responding officers located 2 people suffering from gunshot wounds. One of the gunshot victims was transported to the hospital. The other was pronounced dead at the scene. The person who died was not identified. Police did not say if the person who died was a suspect in the attempted robbery. A source close to the case tells KTVU a Brink security guard killed a robbery suspect and the guard was shot in the leg. Police said another person suffering from gunshot wounds later arrived at a local hospital on their own. Investigators are trying to determine how that person was involved. 2 firearms were recovered at the scene. Oakland Police Department Chief LaRon Armstrong. If your name is LaRon, you can't just say LaRon. No, it's LaRon. LaRon Armstrong updated the situation from the scene. He said a Brink's employee and a bystander were shot and wounded. Armstrong said a white vehicle occupied by several individuals is involved in this case. So a bystander got shot. That sucks. That person was minding their business, probably thinking about what they're going to get into this weekend, and got shot. Fortunately, it was only in the leg and they lived. Sky Fox flew over the scene. There were numerous evidence markers near an armored Brinks truck outside a Napa auto parts store. Witnesses said they heard as many as 20 shots and screams. Well, there's 20 shots. How did only 2 people get hit? 3 people and 1 died. Sounds like most of those shots are coming from the untrained, dumb, cowardly would-be robbers. The latest incident caps what has been a deadly week in Oakland. It's been a tough week in the city of Oakland. We obviously have seen several homicides this week. We ask the community to continue to bring forth information to help us solve these crimes. We also ask the community to continue to get rid of guns that continue to plague our community. You sound like Kamala Harris saying the word community that many times. You guys see that clip from the other day? She was like, well, community banks, they're in the community for the community. If the community would just bank at the community banks, it would be a better community or something like that. That's probably better than what she said. But yeah, lean on the community to turn these people in because that's what they always do, right? So one of the robbers or the other robbers, aside from the one that got killed, they all took off and ran. Now, I know the saying, there's no honor amongst thieves, but shit, you're just going to take off and leave your boy bleeding out? Haven't you guys ever seen a war movie? You see all those soldiers and Marines and shit? They go back, no man left behind. They dodge the bullets to get their boy out of there. And you cowardly sons of bitches just drive away and leave him there to bleed out on the pavement. Garbage. Garbage. Well, that's what happens when you play with a Brinks truck driver. You're probably going to get your ass shot. That's why they carry guns, because they're ready to shoot. Idiots. Oakland. Hey, people, if you can avoid Oakland, avoid it. And that was downtown. That was where the businesses are and the tall buildings and where you don't expect to see a robbery. 20 shots. Where'd those bullets go? Where do they go? Bullets don't turn to steam and evaporate if they miss their target. They keep going until they hit something or until they run out of steam. And in downtown in a major American city, it's probably going to hit something before it runs out of steam. So we know where one of the bullets went. One of the bullets went into an innocent bystander. The rest of the other 19, who knows? Hopefully they struck some pavement or a concrete wall or something, and obviously it didn't go into any other people, so that's good. And it said that one of the guys went into a hospital later on their own. Don't you guys know that if you come in with a gunshot wound, they're probably going to alert the police? Fucking idiots. Straight dumbasses. I guess that's why they're out there robbing, because they're not smart enough to get a fucking job. But also glad to hear that Brinks truck driver didn't get killed too, because of course they were willing to kill him. You're willing to rob, you're willing to kill. This live stream is brought to you by C60 Evo. I really enjoy the benefits of C60 Evo organic olive oil when I take it daily. My mind is sharper and I have more energy and endurance. I sleep deeper and wake up feeling more refreshed, which is amazing. C60 Evo delivers pure C60 ESS60 infused skin serums, lip balms, and pet formulas that deliver excellent results. They've got a proven track record of 31 years and my personal recommendation. Get C60 Evo organic products to enjoy the incredible benefits yourself. Use my link to save 10% off of your purchase. What? It's pretty nice, guys. I say you take advantage. I say you'd be like Biden when there's an 8-year-old in arm's reach. Take advantage. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. Great question, Spunbearing65. Thank you again. He says, good gun. Did anyone practice? I think the Brinks truck driver was the only one who went to the range because he hit his target. His target was laying next to him. But those other fools, I don't get it. Why would you have all these guns and not go train, not go to the range so your bullets hit their mark? What do you think this is? You think maybe these dummies play too much GTA or what's that? I can't even think of it. The popular video game where they're shooting and it's like war shit. Something Black Ops. I can't think of it. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe they're playing too many video games. Maybe they don't know that real bullets actually kill people. But why would you have a gun and not take it to the range and practice and be good with it? I don't understand. I'm going to the range next week. I'm gonna hit up my buddy, and we're gonna go hit the range. I try to go. I'm trying to go at least a couple times a month, just to keep the skills sharp. And it's nice when you go and you go consistently and you practice. When you get to that range and you start those groups are getting tighter and tighter. You're hitting what you're shooting at. Call of Duty, thank you. Witowski's Fish and Sickness, thank you. Call of Duty, that's what it is. But when you start to see the fruits of your labor, that's a good feeling. You feel like Riggs and Lethal Weapon 2. You're going to shoot a damn smiley face in that target next time. My goodness. So anywho, why don't we start with the title of this live? You remember? She was 12. I was 30. No, you didn't say that. No. Yeah, he did. He did. I see people in here talking about gun jams. I remember at when I went to the front site. When I went to the front site school, we were working on a few different types of jams, like stovepipe and all that kind of shit. It was really good to do, because when you do that, if that actually happens, it's second nature. Just turn the gun, rack the slide, get another round in there, and it's party time. Let's see. There it is. Guys, this is fucked up.
Battery 90%.
Now, what you're about to hear.
Sure, it goes S20.
What you're about to hear is the resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. He is at a rally of some type, and I'm sure it's not packed. But he says this to somebody in the crowd out loud, and he knows his mic is on. Here we go.
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway, this woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway.
What? One more time. You guys want to hear that one more time? You haven't thrown up your food yet? It'll come up this time.
You gotta say hi to me.
Ooh, that sounded gross.
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway, this woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway.
Wow. And what's almost as bad as what he said, you hear the people laughing. You laughing like you didn't hear what he just said? You laughing at what? A 30-year-old man spending time with a 12-year-old girl? Guys, I remember when I was 30. It wasn't that long ago. I wasn't hanging out with no 12-year-olds or any other kids like that. It was before I had kids of my own. So unless you're like a coach or something like that, or like a youth director or something, or a teacher, I'm not sure why you would be spending time with a 12-year-old. And actually, Lala HK, she says 120 years in the Senate. Oh, Senate. Oh no, Lala HK. He said that he was in the Senate for 720 years. You got to add another 600 years to that. Oh, and I'm sorry. You know how the saying goes. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Let me show you how he said that. Let's see. Out of control pervert, out of control pervert. Here we go. You gotta talk to me. Yeah, ooh, her right there. We've been working for a long time. You gotta talk to me. Ew. Ew. And all those people, ha 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 ha. What the fuck are you laughing at? That was gross. That entire audience should have gone home and showered and tried to wash what they heard off of their bodies. She was 12. I was 30. Oh my God. What? And it's his track record. That's what makes this so gross. Is his track record. You've said shit like this all the time. We have tons of pictures of you sniffing women and children. So you're that out of touch to where you thought that would be a good idea to talk about how you used to hang out with a 12-year-old girl, how she's helped you get a lot done. I wonder what that is. That was just gross and hard to hear. My goodness. And those people, what is so funny? I bet you that lady wasn't laughing. Duty Ron, thank you for the Hamilton, he says. Jericho, thanks for your support. Retired NYPD detective here. I was going to say, I see you in a uniform in your profile pic. Thank you for your service to New York City. At least somebody was serving the people of New York City. They can't look to their mayor, this one or the one before, or the one before that. So thank you for your hard work, man. I'm glad you made it out in one piece. The Ferg says, I'm fuming over this. That shit is gross, man. She was 12 and I was 30. Ew, man. What the fuck? And I wish it wasn't such a tight shot. I wish they were able to zoom out so we could see how many people were in that audience. Because I doubt it was full. I doubt it. I bet it was so empty that the people that worked there, they started putting the empty chairs away early. They might as well get a head start on cleaning up because no one else is showing up. We might as well start getting these empty chairs out of here. There's no way in the world that was full unless it was like a broom closet they were in. Because even when he was running for president, he couldn't fill nothing. I remember the video of Trump doing a rally near his, and you couldn't hear him talking because everybody cheering at Trump's rally. 81 million votes, though, right? Okay. You say so. Rome 13, unfortunately, you're right. Biden's new slogan, leave no child undefiled. Leave no child unsniffed or touched. That shit was recorded live. Nobody has a problem with that. We're the mainstream mediocres. Why aren't you guys having a field day on this comment and others? Well, let's just say you guys missed all the other ones. Let's start fresh. Let's start fresh. Why don't you start covering this shit now? After he got up there and talked about a relationship that he had with a 12-year-old when he was 30. Again, if you don't work with children, a coach, a youth leader, a teacher, you know the kind of people I'm talking about, then why are you around 12-year-olds, a 12-year-old girl? Why are you hanging out with her? Ew, Pale Horse 111. But I think you're kind of right, too. He says, leave no child behind alone. That's gross and true at the same time. I don't get it, man. And those people were laughing. I'd be like, what the fuck did he just say? And then I would grab my stuff and leave. And that's if I were ever to go to a Biden rally. That's if. Yeah, if she was 12, I was 30. Whoever runs against him, and if it's Trump, we already know. Let's be honest, his ass ain't running again. He can't. He can't. They want, not only, it's not that he doesn't want to, he doesn't know what the fuck he wants, but his party won't let him. You see how they sidestep and dodge and dance around when they ask him, so, are you going to support Biden if he runs again? We haven't got, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't want to speculate, and let's not talk about that right now. If that's your boy and he's doing so well, and you guys are out here talking about, look at the numbers going up an inch, and he did this and he did that, and his plan and all this bullshit, then why aren't you quick to say, of course? Why would I want this? Why wouldn't I want this greatness to continue in America? Why wouldn't I vote for this guy to keep him in office, to keep us doing well? because they know better than that. They may be evil, but they're not stupid, except for AOC. Donkey King, thank you. He says, ain't no amount of adrenaline Google Chrome going to be able to help him. I hope so. I hope so. It depends. If they keep him on some Adderall or adrenochrome, whatever they give him, you know, when he has his good moments, and his good moments are horrible moments for a regular person. But when he's up there somewhat coherent, you know they injected him with something right before it goes out. Sir, boom, right in the neck. And then you can tell when it starts to wear off. It's like kids who are hyper on sugar. You can tell when they start to crash. Disgusting. So why don't we move on to, what's her name? Wyclef Jean-Pierre. You know, the little tiny press secretary. Press secretary. Listen to what this fool said.
Investment to fight climate change, as we are talking about extreme weather, and it is one of the most historic investment to fight climate change. As we are talking about extreme weather, I've gotten multiple questions on Puerto Rico and what the people of Puerto Rico, our brothers and sisters, are going through. What may happen in this hurricane season. A lot of that is going to be helped by the work that this president has done, bipartisan infrastructure law. Again, the Inflation Reduction Act.
That's going to help with the hurricanes. Some bipartisan bullshit and the Inflation Reduction Act. Is the hurricane going to hit the shores and go, whoa, wait, hurricane, they have an Inflation Reduction Act. Let's go around. What the fuck does that even mean? All this climate change bullshit and this money, it means nothing. What can you do? Where do you put this money to make the planet act differently? Do you bury the money in the ground and then the earth absorbs it and says, thank you, citizens of Earth. I will allow you to live longer. What does that mean? There's nothing you can pass. There's no legislation that's going to curtail the hurricanes in Puerto Rico. And I'm sure the Puerto Ricans are like, did she just refer to us as brother and sister? Awesome. Oh, fuck, they don't care. They ain't your brothers, ain't your damn sister. Fucking ridiculous. Josh W., thank you. He says, I think Trump just might be the David Goggins of politics. As Goggins says, taking souls. He cannot be stopped, and it drives the left insane. Yes, David Goggins, that's an awesome man right there. They let him and they help him drive them insane because they can't stop talking about him. They can't leave him alone. They're gluttons for punishment. Well, they're sadomasochists. They like the pain. They like the abuse. Because if you guys would just shut up about him, he might just go away, but you can't. You got that slick-haired cousin of Satan, Gavin Bang Your Wife Newsom, who says it's Trump's policy's fault that people are leaving his state. Every other speech, Biden's talking about the previous administration and Trump. You help him drive you crazy. He can't stop. He probably wants to chill on the beach by Mar-a-Lago for a little bit, but he can't because you're breaking into his house, stealing his shit, or you're talking about him, or you're accusing him. He can't get arrested. It's like I say, I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. They won't let him. You think he doesn't want to sit there and watch Barron grow up to be a tycoon like his pa? They won't let him. They keep dragging. Every time I'm out, they pull me back in. My God. They won't let him rest. But she said that his policies are going to help with hurricanes. So he does basically nothing. Trump goes down there and throws some paper towels, and he's racist for throwing people paper towels. Okay. That don't make no sense at all. But the media is not going to check it. They're not going to say anything to her. even though that's probably the dumbest thing they've ever heard in their lives. It's because of the work that this president has done. His work is weakening. He's taken hurricanes from class 5 to class 3 just from his policies. He's affecting nature. That's how powerful, that's how good of a president this man is. He is affecting nature. Have you guys taken a second to step back and be in awe of this man? Have you taken a second? No. You guys are too busy on your high horse throwing slings and arrows at this great man. He's great. He saw the hurricanes bearing down on Puerto Rico, and he went out there with his Build Back Better and Inflation Reduction Act shield, and he shielded the people of Puerto Rico. You know, like in a movie where the dragon is breathing fire and the knight holds up his shield and the flames go around him and he saves the damsel in distress. That damsel is Puerto Rico. And that knight in shining armor is Biden's Pervertus, and he's saving them. How awesome is that? Have you guys taken a second? Of course you haven't, because you guys are haters. Could you imagine if Biden was wearing an armored suit like knight's armor? It would sound like somebody shaking keys. Hey, I wish I had some keys in here right now. Hey, you leave Puerto Rico. You leave those little Puerto Ricans alone. Him shaking, just rattling in the fucking seat. Clank, 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 clank. Hey, where's the hurricane? Hurricane, strong enough to start an engine, man. That's a deep cut. Who knows where that's from? Huh? Who knows where that's from? Hurricane, strong enough to start an engine, man. Roy Lee Painter, thank you very much. 610 watching and 94 likes. WTF? Come on, people. That's a good question, Roy. WTF? Come on, guys, hit the like button. Just put your finger over it, slide the mouse over there, scroll in the phone, hit the like. That's all. Bam, that's it. Diesel, you got it right. E40, hurricane. But, I mean, if you're Puerto Rico and they said, Puerto Ricans, we are going to send Joe Biden to save you, Puerto Rico would be like, nah, we'll take it. We'll take it. No, just let the hurricane come. It's cool. Are you sure? He can, nah, it's cool. We got kids here. No, just let the hurricane hit us. Let us hit us. Let us take the brunt of the hurricane rather than having that old fool come down here and do anything. Oh, let's see, hold on. Yo, it's Shannon. It's Shannon. Is it Shannon D or Shannon? I'm going to say Shannon D. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. I just like Shannon D better. Sound like a rapper from the 80s. It's Shannon D. She says 578 likes, though. You got to refresh, JG. I didn't look at it. That was from a member of the comment section, but I'm glad it's up to 578. Thank you, Shannon. Yo, it's Shannon D in the place to be. Miss Pepsi Girl, thank you. Remember when the guy shitted in front of Pelosi's house? Yeah, was it just shit or was it like a pig's head or something too? Now, here at Jericho Green Enterprises, we do not condone vandalism, okay? But if you happen to be going by Nancy Pelosi's house and you got a shit, well, you don't want to give, because I know if you hold your pee in, you can get a bladder infection. So what do you get if you hold your dookie in? I could have said another word, but I like dookie. That shit's funny. But if you got to take a dookie, what happens if you hold it in? I've held in a dookie before. You get those stomach pains, those sharp stomach pains. Ugh. You know what I mean? So you don't want to do damage to yourself. That could be lifelong. That could set you up for some kind of issue later on. Runeski, that is something. She said he pooped in a pig's head. That takes dedication, all right? But if you're riding past her house and you really got to shit, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what I would do. Tammy A says you get constipated. You don't want to get constipated. Impacted? Because if you get impacted, you have to be disimpacted. And that means you got to go to a hospital and some nurse is going to have to root around in your stinker to get it out. That's embarrassing. So save yourself the embarrassment. What I would do, if I had a turtle head poking out, I would go up to her door. Nancy, I'm one of your constituents. I'm a Californian. I got to shit. I got to take a dookie. You going to help me out? I don't want a dookie in your driveway. Well, I kind of do. But I'd rather dookie in your house like a civilized person. But if you want me to be animalistic, I will squat and drop in your driveway, Nancy. Don't make me do that. Let me into your home so I can take a shit. It's the least you could do. You shit on me all the time. You shit on me as a Californian all the time. Why can't I take a shit in your house? Or a dookie. Kate seems to like that word. Kate says a dookie, laughing my ass off. Fine, I'll say dookie from now on, Kate. Why wouldn't she let you take a dookie in there? That's rude. So really, it's not their fault. It's Nancy's. Nancy, you should have been a little nicer. You should have been a little more welcoming and let them come into your house and take a dookie. Now, yes, it's improper etiquette and a little disrespectful to shit in somebody's house the first time you go over there. Am I the only one? Am I the only one who thinks that it's kind of taboo, if you will? It's a bit crass to take a shit at somebody's house the first time. Jim Jones, here we go with the play comments. Jim Jones says, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Dookie-Doo. That was very immature, and I can't believe I let you pull me into that, Jim Jones. I need to be more mature. Runeski, right? That's rude. And to give us a little levity, Brian King B. Falcon says, what do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. Thank you. Dad joke. Lord German Husbando says, Jericho, what made you go live today? You didn't say yesterday. I forgot about it yesterday. My son has a soccer game. So here we are. But I don't see a problem with that. What do you guys think? I think it's rude to go to somebody's house for the first time and take a shit. You got to shit before you come. If you have any doubts about your stomach, if you have any issues, then don't go. But I think it's rude to shit at somebody's house the first time. You got to build some rapport. We got to build a foundation first before you start putting dookie on top of it, if you will. Bob K. MIT says, yes, rude. I think so. Lala HK, I know. She says shit happens, JG. I get it. But it doesn't have to happen at someone's house for the first time. Who goes to somebody's house for the first time and you know you haven't shit yet? You know you got to drop a deuce, pinch a loaf, drop the Browns off at the Super Bowl. You know your routine. You know your dookie habits. Roy Lee Painter, thank you again. Jericho for POTUS, Semper Fidelis. I do it. I don't know how long I last, but I do it. Lala HK, surely it's not planned. So you come into the defense of the first-time dookiers? Lala HK, are you a first-time dookie advocate? Are you advocating for people to take a dump at someone's house the first time they go over there? I can't believe you. I expected this from somebody else, but not you, Lala HK. I thought you were anti-first-time dookie. Ms. Pepsi Girl, again, thank you. Just took a fat dookie. Wish I saved it for Pelosi. There'll be other ones. Or you can save that one till you run into her. Let it ferment. Huh? Save that one. And the reason you got to throw it, you could still save it for her. She likes it aged, just like her vodka. The bee's knees, mommy Grammy. Thank you again. A horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, why the long face? Thank you. More dad jokes. You know what a turd is, or you know what a fart is, right? A turd honking for the right of way. All right, guys, let's get serious. Enough dookie talk. Lala HK says, I see both sides of everything. Not this time, Lala HK. There's right and there's wrong. And if you come to my house for the first time and you blow up my bathroom, I'll never forget that. I'll never forgive you. Lord German Husbando, thank you. Jericho, you rewind for me. Could you rewind for me? No, I can't. I came in during all this Dookie talk and I have no idea what's happened. Someone asked if didn't somebody throw shit on Nancy Pelosi's house in her driveway? And I said I didn't know whether it was just shit or a pig's head too. Or maybe I got like Godfather mixed up with that. And then somehow or another, we got to taking a Dookie in her house. And then I remembered how I feel about people taking a shit coming to your house for the first time. So that's where we are in the Dookie argument. Is it right or rude to take a shit in somebody's house the first time you go over there? And apparently Lala HK is an advocate for first-time Dookies. But again, no more Dookie talk. Oh, I can't say. There might be more, but we'll take a break right now. So what have we gotten so far? Biden loved to hang out with kids when he was 30, and Wyclef Jean-Pierre says that because of his policies, the hurricane season will be a little bit lighter because of the work that he's done. I know, absolutely fucking ridiculous, but she said it. Jim Jones, thank you. There once was a man from Nantucket, then Biden falls off his bike. The end. He sure did. And what was funny is after that, people would go to that spot and fall off of their bike. Man, sometimes I love my fellow Americans. They went to that spot and fell off of their bike. I love it. That shit is hilarious. Love it, man. That was so funny. Oh, and here is the crown jewel of the day. Here is the best Biden quote, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But here we go.
By the way, it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help fight HIV/AIDS.
So, if you don't know, the hot 666, yes, that's exactly what that means. He says, does that mean I can't take a dump at Jericho's house? Not the first time. I got to get to know you, man, before you start pinching loafs up in here, up there in her. So that was Bidenus Pervertus on stage with Elton John and, of course, Jill Biden, his nurse/orderly. They're all on stage, and he goes up to Elton John, puts his arm around him and says, it's this guy's fault that we spent $6 billion this month to fight HIV, taxpayer HIV, and then he fell apart at the end. That's what happens when you give his ass cue cards, okay? You can't save it. Cue cards, teleprompters, it don't matter. But Elton John's a gay dude. Now, is Biden saying Elton John created, he's going around spreading AIDS and we had to spend $6 billion? I don't think so. But it's in poor taste to say that it's a gay dude's fault that we're spending $6 billion on HIV/AIDS prevention. It just didn't come out right, as it often does not come out right when this fool opens that aged hole under his nose. What a fucking idiot. Let's hear that again. I love it.
It's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help fight HIV/AIDS.
He reminds me of, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh boy. This is what he reminds me of. Remember this Tide commercials back in the day, in like the early 2000s, 2008 or something like that. And this guy's at an interview and he has a stain on his shirt. And the guy interviewing him can't concentrate on what he's saying because the stain is so loud. Here we go. Stupid commercial. Hold on. Right when he said HIV.
Well, you know, an organized person, somebody who does not leave details. Ouch. I'm actually very, very good with groups. Group work. I surpassed all my goals, my previous position, my prior job, and your competitor. My personnel and me have surpassed their own goals.
Oh. Tell me that didn't sound like Biden. What was he saying? It's his fault that we spent $6 billion this month to fight, or taxpayers' money to fight HIV. Holy shit. Does he know where he is? Did he think that, oh, I'm in my living room and they brought all these people here to hang out? Do you not realize that you're at an event? And he just gave Elton John an award, some like achievement, lifetime achievement bullshit award, this medal around his neck. And you can see on Elton John's face, oh shit, what is he going to say? He has no teleprompter. He put the cue card away. What soundbite am I about to be a part of? What soundbite is he going to drag me into? Because he knew it. There's no way this man is going to get through this sentence with no help. And he was standing in between Biden and Jill. So even Jill couldn't whisper in his ear to tell him what to say. He was on his own. You had Biden up there unsupervised. That's a nightmare. Elton John was like, oh, shit. And he was right. Hey, it's this guy's fault that we're spending all this money on AIDS because he's one of those alphabet soup group guys and they love that stuff. They spread it everywhere. I think it would be easier to understand if he got up there and just started. I think he'd be easier to understand, honestly, than how he usually talks. Am I wrong? Yeah, the thing, the paper, the thing, the constipation, that thing, that pesky thing that keeps getting in our way, keeps getting in the way of my tyranny. What's this in the way of my tyrannical ways? Oh, the constipation. Boy, oh boy. Ron says Biden sounds like one of those crazy goats talking. You mean like this? Somebody sent me this. And I keep it in my office, not only to use here because it's hilarious, because if I don't, my son will get it and I'll hear that shit over and over again and it'll drive me crazy. Max Bang, thank you. I wish Sir Elton John had just thrown an elbow at Biden. Sorry, not sorry. Take that, you bullocks. That would have been funny. That probably would have been the softest elbow ever, but would have been hilarious. Just watch Secret Service come up there and just fucking Terry the Office linebacker Elton John right there on the stage. Dan Rudd says, Jericho, you're right. Constipation because he's full of crap. He is, man. It's coming. He's so full that it's starting to come out of his mouth. It's this guy's fault. And side question, can I get a sidebar real quick? Why are we spending $6 billion a month on AIDS? $6 billion a month? Where is it going? Are there like AIDS treatment centers or something? Are we supplying all the people with AIDS in this country with free medicine? Why does it cost so much to prevent HIV and AIDS? It shouldn't. There's two groups of people that get HIV in this country. Does it even turn to AIDS? If you leave it untreated, it will, but we got AIDS medication in this country. So if you leave it untreated, it might turn into that. But there's two groups of people that get that shit. Intravenous drug users and members of the alphabet soup group. If you're backing it up on somebody's ding dong on a regular basis, that's the only other way to get AIDS. I don't see how, let's see, hold on a second. How many people are infected with HIV/AIDS in America?
According to HIV.gov, at year-end 2019, an estimated 1.2 million people in the United States aged 13 and older had HIV in the U.S., the most recent year for which this information is available.
Hold on. 13? Unless you got it from a blood transfusion, young man or young woman, I'm going to need you to tell me how you got it. And if you got it from a person, from an adult, I'm going to need their name. Because there's a squad we're going to send over there to pick them up. 13? That's fucking horrible. But 1 million people have HIV/AIDS in America. So why do we need $6 billion to fight that? How are we fighting it? Again, are we giving them free medicine? What are we doing? Are they printing up pamphlets on how to avoid getting AIDS? It's pretty easy. Keep the needle out of your arm and the dingus out of your rump, and you should be good. Right? Am I oversimplifying this? Is my publicly educated mind taking over again? Making me say oversimplified shit? Keep the needle out of your arm and the dingus out of your stinker, and you should be fine. You tell me, guys. I don't know. There's 1 million people. There's 325 million total. 1 million has AIDS, HIV/AIDS. Say HIV. Anybody got a fucking AIDS? Look at Magic Johnson. He put on weight. But we're spending $6 billion. He said $6 billion this month. This month. So that implies that we're spending this kind of money every month. For who? This sounds very suspicious, very suspect to me. Lord German Husbando says chimp pox. Like I say here, people, if you stay away from the cocks, you won't get the pox. So if you're not shooting up or backing it up, you won't get it. So where does the $6 billion come in? Miss S66, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. I'm just wondering. Diesel says that Magic never had it. I don't know. I remember the press conference where he got up there with his wife next to him, and I think his son was with him too. Look at Magic Johnson's son now. Ugh, talk about disappointing. And he said, I have HIV. And remember, all the players and shit, they were like, man, I'm not playing with Magic Johnson. I don't want him sweating on me or bleeding on me. Fuck that. Could you imagine what would happen if some player came out with a disease like that, and then they were like, oh, I'm not playing with them. Fuck that. You know what they would be called, what kind of phobe and ist they would be called, how they would be shamed into putting their health at risk. So just to satiate the woke mob, I got to go out here and risk getting some disease that I don't even know how it's transmitted. That's how it would be. That's right, Eric Winslow. He says he had HIV, but it never developed into AIDS. Exactly. That was back in 1991. That was back when Freddie Mercury of Queen died of AIDS. That was 2 years before that. They made that movie Philadelphia with Denzel and Tom Hanks talking about AIDS and how people were dying from it before they had all this widespread medication for it. So if that was the case back then, fast forward to now, almost 30 years later, we got it under control. There needs to be no $6 billion a month going to this bullshit, but it sounds like a good opportunity for some higher ups to just skim money off the top, get their hands in that fucking HIV cookie jar. That shit is terrible. It's this guy's fault. Oh my goodness. Just the most awkward, cringy, uncomfortable person you've ever seen in politics. Ever. She was 12. I was 30. It's Elton John's fault that we got to spend money on AIDS. I'm done. What more is there to say? And who had their tiny little hands? I'm sure he has like little hands. Like not quite baby hands, but little hands, like like the hands of a 6-year-old, just little hands. But who had their little tiny handprints all over AIDS in the beginning, in the 80s? You got it, Joyce Decker. Who had their little tiny undersized handprints all over AIDS in the 80s? You got it, Fauci. Who has their tiny little corrupt undersized handprints all over the sweet and sour sniffles that we're still dealing with now? You got it, Fauci. What was he crying about back then? Everybody's going to get it. It's an epidemic. We're all going to die. If you go outside, you're going to get AIDS. What did he say with the pandemic? We need to lock down. Don't go outside. Stay 6 feet apart. Wipe everything. That turned out to be bullshit. The Ferg, that's right. Raccoon hands. Just the tiniest little hand, but they're not soft like children hands. They're weathered like man hands. They're just tiny. Like the Burger King commercials where the burger makes people's hands look small. Coincidence? I think not. But this is Saturday, okay, the weekend. By Monday, what do you think he's going to say? What kind of slip-ups and verbal flubs is he going to have? Who is he going to touch? Who's he going to put his arm around? What's he going to forget to say? What's Wyclef Jean-Pierre going to say? Is she going to tell us by Monday that Biden is like Mickey Mouse and Fantasia? He's just up on a hill, just throwing magic down on the world and slowing down hurricanes and stopping floods. And I don't get it. By Monday, what's he going to be? What's he going to say? What's he going to do? I'll tell you one thing. I'll be right here at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to talk all about it. But now we got to go get ready for the soccer game. Can't wait. Now, I told my son before I came in here, which is over an hour ago, make sure you get all your soccer stuff together. Your shin guards, your socks, your cleats, your shorts, and your jersey. Everything. Your water. Actually, no, I think he has a vitamin water in there. I told him, this is what you need to get. Now, I'm going to go in there, like I said, more than an hour later and see if he's done it. Do you think he has? I don't know. I'm going to go 50-50. Sometimes he surprises me. Sometimes he does exactly what I think he's going to do. And none of his shit's going to be collected. He's going to have a headband on. He's going to have a belt on with all of his little fake bullets. And he's going to have his shotgun in his hand. That I can guarantee you. But good luck to my boy today. I'll be out there. Try not to be a crazy soccer dad, but I can't make any promises. I will see you guys here on Monday, 1 p.m. PST. Thank you, everybody, in the comment section for your comments, your questions, your super chats, your time. Thank you. Say it with me, damn it. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net and mygreengear.com. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.